November 12th, 2022, pretty late into the night. Standing in a casino bathroom, counting $100 bills, and thinking, I really hope that I haven't dropped any as I've been walking around. I'm drunk, tired, and I'm very, very angry. This was the day that I placed my last bet and stopped gambling forever. But why? And what happened that day that made me decide to pursue a life where I would never place another bet? Before I take you back to how that day started, let me introduce myself. My name's Rob, and I'm a recovering gambling addict. That day when I placed my last bet, I decided that I needed to do something in my life that would provide meaning. That's why I started creating videos like this very video you're watching now. And if you're interested in avoiding making any of the mistakes that I made during my life, especially the ones I'm going to tell you about in this video, then smash that subscribe button, because I share everything that happened to me so that you don't have to go down the same path. Let's go back to that morning. I had moved from New Jersey to Pennsylvania. I figured I needed a change in my life. So I packed up all my stuff and moved in with 3 of my best friends. Things were going great. I had earlier that year decided that I was going to quit gambling, and I joined a support group called Gamblers Anonymous. Things were going well. Every Tuesday night I'd go back home to Jersey and attend my group meeting. Then I'd go back to Pennsylvania and live my life. I thought things were going well. The problem was that I was measuring my success and my happiness based on the number of days that it had been since I placed my last bet. It still had its hooks in me, and I was still doing everything I could to fight it off. But I had a job that I didn't really love. I was working as a financial analyst, ironically, for a hospital, and as a bartender. And I was just kind of drifting, counting the days since I had made my last mistake, but not really putting myself out there, taking any risks, or doing anything that I thought was interesting. And those feelings festered for quite a few months, about 8 months actually, and November came along. In November, I was feeling sorry for myself, angry. And November the 12th, I realized one crucial thing. When I had quit gambling, on February 8th of 2022, I'd self-excluded from the New Jersey casinos. For those of you that don't know what that means that I banned myself from playing on casinos in the state of New Jersey. And that worked. That put it out of sight, out of mind. But for some reason, on that day in November, I remembered Philadelphia is not in New Jersey. That sounds like something I should have noticed earlier, but really never thought about, because I was just living with my friends trying to find my way. Once I realized that, I remembered, hey, you're not self-excluded in Pennsylvania. You could go and gamble. And it wasn't long before I felt the temptation hit me. A few beers in on a Saturday morning, and I decided to start gambling on sports. The problem wasn't that I gambled. The problem was that I won. And when I won that day, I felt guilty, because I had sworn to myself, my sponsor, and all of my community that I built in my support group meeting that I was going to stay away from gambling. And in one instant, I had gone back on my word. My defenses were low. I was sad, feeling sorry for myself, and I went and took it out by placing a bet. I wanted to cash that bet out right away because I wanted to get away from it. I wanted to get back into recovery and start my process again. But I was on the Parks Casino app, and at the time, I don't know if this is still the case or not, there was a 24-hour withdrawal period. So once you hit withdraw, you had to wait for it to clear through their system, and then they would credit your account. Well, my idea that day, still feeling a buzz from the bar in the morning, was, hey, I could just go to the casino and pick it up, right? If I go to the cashier's desk, they would easily be able to void that and just pay me right there. They want me to have that money so that I could, gamble it, probably, in their minds. So I thought, I'll go in, I'll get this money, and I'll come right back out. Like going to the bank, except the bank was a multi-billion-dollar casino. Anyways, I go in and I have a conversation with the cashier, and they give me the same spiel that I saw online, was that I had to wait 24 hours, even in person at the desk. So now, rather than being 8 months clean, I was less than 8 hours, probably less than 80 minutes clean. And I said, hey, well, if I gamble today and I lose the amount that I just won, it's par for the course. It's a wash. It won't matter. I hit the ATM and I started gambling. And within just a few minutes, I had lost the amount that I had won that morning. And all of a sudden, I was faced with the decision. Do I deal with it, go home, call it a wash, or do I try to get it back? Well, if you are a compulsive gambler, gambling addict like myself, you already know what the answer is in our head. It's, well, I have until the end of the day before my next day clean. I might as well go and gamble. And that's what I did. So I made the first bad decision. Well, not the first bad decision, another bad decision of the day by taking my credit card, going to the cashier's desk, and taking out a cash advance for 1/3 of my balance. I used it to play poker, and very soon I needed more money. And then I did it again. During one day, over the course of 12 hours at that casino, I would take out 3 separate cash advances for an entire credit line. I had maxed out my credit card, in addition to incurring the fees that I would then have to pay as well. Thinking about it now, looking back, it's very obvious that I was making a bad decision. But in the moment, I was just thinking, this is my last hurrah. This is my last chance to enjoy myself. This is my last chance to try to win it all back. That takes us up to the moment that I was standing in the bathroom, counting the $100 bills. It was the third cash advance, and I was counting to make sure that it was all there. Because I was still drunk. I kept drinking throughout the day, and I was worried that I had dropped money walking from the cashier's desk to the bathroom. I wasn't worried about the fact that I had lost the other cash advances gambling. I was worried that I had dropped money. What was the difference? In actuality, that money was always going to get tossed away. And that's exactly what I did after I left the bathroom. After counting it, I went and I started playing hands of blackjack and lost the entire amount. I had nothing left. That's the point that I decided to go home. Now, what you'll notice about this story, before I tell you what happened the day after, is that I never mentioned the amount of money that I lost. And that probably bothers a good amount of the audience. Why do I not share the amount of money that I lost gambling? I'd get more clicks, more views. This story would get pushed out to many more people. It could even get picked up by a news article if I shared the amount of devastation that I did to myself when I was a young person. But the problem is, you could be watching this video right now and you could be struggling with a gambling problem. And if I was in your shoes watching this video, you know what I would say if the person said the amount that they lost? Oh, well, he lost more than me. I'm not that bad. So I don't have a gambling problem. He has a gambling problem. I refuse to give people a reason to continue doing something that's bringing pain into their lives. If you've lost $1, $10, $100 that you didn't have, and it's caused stress, anxiety, depression in your life, that is a clear sign that your gambling has become a problem. The amount is relative to your earnings. It's relative to your lifestyle. Never, ever compare your situation to someone else's. Because if you're struggling in any way, then it's the perfect time to get help, which is exactly what I did the next day. The next day, I went back to my support group and I told them what happened. I told them about how in the blink of an eye, I would cause enough damage in my life that I'd spend the next 6 months working 70 hours a week to pay it off. And I started to do something that I had never done before. I started to really be honest. It didn't happen right away, but within a few days of me going back to my meeting, another person that was pretty close in age to myself stopped showing up. And when I gave him a call and I asked why, he was in a bad situation, felt a compulsion to go back to it. And I told him, hey man, I don't know what the solution is at the time, I didn't. But I know it's not going back to gambling, because this is my life right now. I'm working hard to pay off debts, I'm miserable, and I'm bored. I'm upset, I'm frustrated. Come back and give this meeting another chance. And he did. And he's doing awesome now. Well, that was the very first time in a long time that I felt good about something that I did. And I said, hey, I can record videos and say the same thing that I just said to him. And that's exactly what you're watching right now, 2 years later.